Hello and welcome to the unfortunate season finale of HTF Bets. This is season 9, episode 11. I'm your host, Nick Cohen, and we have a great show for you. As always, first we will be having an on-air, not an on-air, but a HTF Bets debut as we talk about the HTF Showrunners and Leadership Fantasy Football League. And then we will be testing our executive producer, Mason Meyer's knowledge on HTF Bets, but also one of my co-hosts and I will be playing along as our producer made up those questions. And then finally, our assistant producer, Anya Gary Bashfully, will be coming on and seeing if she could do better at Surefire Picks of the Week than Tyler, our producer. So you won't want to miss that because HTF Bets starts right now. And welcome back. As always, to my left is Andrew Gregg, and to my right is Tyler Brownrigg, who messed up the dress code. Andrew, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm wearing the black jacket with the blue shirt.
I just saw blue in the text in my defense, and I was talking about the blue shirt, so that's all I thought about.
He just didn't read the whole thing. That was a problem for me in school, too. But our guest is making his HTF Bets debut, first and last time on the show. Patrick, how are you doing?
I am doing great. Better late than never. I also didn't get the memo. I'm in blue. Maybe that was why you wanted Tyler to wear black, so you guys would be, completely the same, and maybe I'm just in blue. I don't know.
That was the exact thought process.
That was the idea.
I'm so sorry, Tyler.
We just for
had
once
to call you out there.
For once just wanted to match, but it didn't work out. So whatever. But we're just gonna jump right into the fantasy league to go over the standings. Tied for first is Ty Patton, also known as Mike Heavens, and system host you, Patrick Previty, who you are taking a loss this week, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Third place is my co-host Andrew Gregg at 7-3. Good job.
I try.
And then tied for fourth is a slew of people, but that includes Tyler Brownrigg, me, and Andrew Montana, all at 6-4. So we're just gonna jump right into it with Tyler. Talk a little bit about your team, keep in mind that we have the same record, and a player that you think really has done well for you.
My team, I would say that my record doesn't fully illustrate how good my team is, I feel like. My team has finally reached its zenith, I think. For almost the entire season, I did not have Puka Nacua, my team's namesake. He is back, and in the full games he has played, excluding the one where he got ejected, he has scored over 18 points in all of them. But the biggest move that I made that I think is the real reason for my success is adding Ja'Marr Chase to my team. I made this trade with Andrew Montana, who I am ahead in the standings because I have more points than him. I traded Saquon Barkley, Jordan Mason, Wan'Dale Robinson, and George Pickens for Ja'Marr Chase, James Conner, and Terry McLaurin. I was in desperate need of receivers. I'm telling you, it was bad for me. Wan'Dale was averaging like 5 a game for a month during that stretch I had him. And Pickens, he's good now, but I had Pickens with Fields, so that was the struggle. But I get Ja'Marr Chase, who is the #1 fantasy receiver. I'm trading the #1 fantasy running back for the #1 fantasy receiver. I'm acquiring a top 15 running back now in James Conner. And not to mention, Terry McLaurin is now a top 10 fantasy receiver. He had a bad game this week against the Eagles, only 2 points. But before that, he was averaging well over 17. So I'm chilling. My team now, I have Nico Collins back. I'm winning this week, and Nico hasn't even played. And I'm great. I'm feeling very confident.
I'm so glad to hear that. Patrick, what are your thoughts on that trade a little bit?
So
it was Ja'Marr Chase.
It was Ja'Marr Chase, Terry McLaurin, and James Conner for Saquon, Jordan Mason, Wan'Dale Robinson, and George Pickens.
Wow.
So Tyler, humble as always, and as usual, patting himself on the back there. Now, I think it's obviously a great trade. You've made a massive improvement from the start of the year. Of course, you sold George Pickens low in a sense there, but everything else perfect. Ja'Marr Chase has been the best player in fantasy football this year, so it was a massive trade for you. And I'm really more concerned about who's the commissioner and why haven't we launched an investigation on Andrew Montana and the absolute negligence for him to trade away Ja'Marr Chase. I'm very concerned with that.
Yeah. Oh,
well,
isn't
there
a
you have
silver
it. Tyler
lining?
Brownrigg is the commissioner.
I am the
don't know.
commissioner.
But it was an amazing trade nonetheless.
Yes. Also, before we move on to the next team, I also acquired Jamar Chase, but in a separate league, obviously. I think I won the trade even more, though. I traded away CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, and Ramondre Stevenson for Jamar Chase, James Conner. For some reason, owners just drafted both of those two players together, and then Jameson Williams. So I got a worse third player, but I feel like who I gave up, especially at the time, 2 weeks ago, was not too bad.
I mean, the only guy I'd say I was sad about giving up is Saquon, right?
Obviously.
But I'm getting 2 top 10 receivers. One of them is the best.
That's fair. I think it was a good move, so I'll give you the props for that.
And my other running backs, make up. J.K. Dobbins is great. Josh Jacobs.
Speaking of great running backs, though, Andrew, talk about your team and a player that you really like.
Yeah, so I feel like I've flown under the radar for the majority of the season. I'm sitting at 7-3, second best record in the league, I guess third if you include the top 2. Joe Mixon has been a standout running back this season, though. Besides the game that he got hurt and the weeks that he's missed, he is the highest scoring average running back, sitting at 22.9 points per game in games that he hasn't been hurt or hasn't played. He's had a phenomenal season. He's only went under 20 points 2 times this season, which is insane for a running back. And genuinely, just besides Saquon Barkley's insane season, Joe Mixon has been one of the best fantasy running backs all season. He's been a constant start. His projection total is at least 20 points a game, which is insane for a running back. And just in general, I have been in love with the Joe Mixon. I never have to worry about sitting him from week to week. And he's been even better than he was with the Bengals last season, which a lot of people thought he would regress. I took him 36 overall in the third round, essentially early fourth round, late third round. And he's just been one of my best players, which carrying my fantasy team, consistently winning me weeks, and I just appreciate him so much.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that was a draft steal for you, and I'm happy that he's paying off. I do hope you eventually go down, as I am right behind you, tied for fourth.
The playoff race is very tight, I will say.
It is
like
very
the
tight.
There are 2 bye slots. It's still very much anyone's game, because Ty and Patrick are both losing this week. Those are the top 2 teams.
Yes, they are.
So it's very much a game apart from everyone.
Yes. So
and that was actually where I was going to jump in for just a
yeah,
second.
Please.
This show airs Monday. So right now, Andrew is extremely high on Joe Mixon, but he needs 18 points from him tonight to win the game against my co-host, Matthew Bracker. I'm just saying, if this was on a Tuesday, I wonder what Andrew would say if Joe Mixon ended with 17 points tonight. But go back, with the top 3 teams might all lose this week.
That's a fantastic point, actually.
I wouldn't be very happy, but I think that Joe Mixon steals the show tonight.
Yeah.
He's going for 2 touchdowns.
If I'm
100 yards.
if I'm Andrew, I'm not sweating.
Jeez.
You're not sweating.
Against the Dallas defense? Joe
good.
Mixon? I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd be
Well,
pretty confident.
we'll just move on. We'll move on to my disappointing team. As I've mentioned, I'm tied for fourth. Okay. My quarterback, though, is the star of the show. It is Kyler Murray. I love Kyler Murray so much. He is great. I saw him absolutely crap on the Jets only a week ago in Arizona. He absolutely played great. He does have those on and off games. On the season, he has just over 2,000 passing yards. He does also have 370 rushing yards and then 12 passing touchdowns to only 3 interceptions, though, which is not bad. He did add on 4 rushing touchdowns. However, the rest of my team goes as follows. I mentioned it last time we talked about the team. Getting Tyreek Hill at pick 6, I thought was a steal. It has not been. Now, granted, the quarterback for the Dolphins, Tua, has been injured, and that has certainly been a factor into why Tyreek Hill has not been as great for fantasy. But nevertheless, whatever. I also have Nick Chubb. I did recently trade for Devon Achane, and I thought that was a good move, but I wasn't going to include him as my star player because I've only had him a week.
I'm going to say right now,
Yes.
Devon Achane's going to be the RB1 next season. Book it.
I love that.
Book it.
I absolutely love that. Another player who he kind of didn't do so well this past week, but I really like Cedric Tillman. My addition of him to my roster, although I never started him when he actually did good, it was still the thought was there.
Starting him over James Cook is a choice.
It is, but Chiefs defense, I didn't expect James Cook to get 2 touchdowns. I think that's justified. I also have Garrett Wilson, who's been kind of disappointing recently. Waited for TJ Hawk at my tight end. But that's enough from me. We're going to move on to Patrick. Talk about your team. And yes, I am beating you, will beat you, but it is okay because the playoffs are what matter, and I think we'll both make it. But you definitely will. Talk about your team.
Exactly. It doesn't mean a thing without the ring. Now, Nick Cohen has a monstrous 75 points, but that was already enough to put me away prior to Monday night's game. I have Tank Dell to go tonight. He's got C.J. Stroud. Your quarterback room is actually kind of stacked for literally no reason. You got Tua, C.J. Stroud, Kyler Murray. Tua obviously was dealing with the injuries. So I'm going to give you a little bit more for your team out of the 3 people at the desk. Your team is actually pretty good. Mine, this has just straight up been negligence, unfortunately. I consider my fantasy team to be my baby. Child Protective Services would come in and take it away from me after this week. I sat my other kicker, because I have 2 for no reason, Chris Boswell. He had 24 points this past week. That was extremely unfortunate. And I made wrong moves for the entire week this week. I have 52 points going into Monday night, just relying on Tank Dell to hopefully get me to 70. But I'm still going to be 8-3, so I don't really care.
I think, you know what, that's a very valid point. At least you're owning up to the loss and the poor mistakes, but it's okay. Again, playoffs start very soon, in 2 weeks actually. We won't be here, but when we come back in January, maybe we'll touch on this. Patrick won't be here.
Our champion will be crowned.
We'll shout him out. You know what, maybe if he does win, if he can dethrone Ty, maybe we'll bring him in. We'll see. But that is going to do it for this segment. Thank you very much for coming on. Patrick, is there anything you would like to say as your Bets debut and last time on?
This is such a great show. I'm so happy with how far it's come since I've first joined the program. All 3 of you guys work really well. It's unfortunate, I don't know if y'all are going to be together on this desk next semester, but y'all have done great. And obviously, personally to Andrew, somebody who I brought into the program, you're doing great. Can't wait to see what you end up doing in the future. And I'm so happy that I got to finally come on the show that you're co-hosting, because I've been talking about coming on Bets since I've been in the program, but especially since you've been one of the 3 hosts.
I cannot stress to people watching this how much of a struggle this was. He has canceled on me 2 separate times.
Oh my goodness. We just couldn't let me have my goodbye, Tyler. It has been rough. I know. I only remember last week canceled.
Last semester there was one also.
Okay.
I appreciate you, Patrick.
Thank you, Andrew.
No problem.
Well, thank you for coming on, and that is going to do it for this segment. After the commercial, though, we will bring our executive producer for his final time on, so don't go anywhere.
Season opener, Baltimore Ravens at the Kansas City Chiefs, September 5th, Thursday Night Football. I am taking the Baltimore Ravens at plus 130 to win this. Kansas City, when they were the season opener last year, they lost that game. Historically, they're not that great in this position.
I have Chuba Hubbard as one of my drops. Unfortunately, he's in an offense where he just won't be getting any carries because of how bad the offense is. He's one of the people I'd drop as one of the fastest drops in fantasy football.
This league has not been what I thought it would be, okay? I thought I would be undefeated. I walked away from that draft. I got Tyreek Hill at number 6, and I thought I won. And we are back for some Bets trivia. Just trying to see if our executive producer actually watches the shows. Mason Myers, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I don't know. I'm actually going to win this game just like I won my game earlier because I'm the best. So.
Oh, okay. Well, Tyler, our
the
producer,
confidence.
Tyler has created the question. So Andrew and I are also competing, as I alluded to in the intro.
Oh.
Yeah, so hopefully you still win. I don't think so because we're quite competitive, but so are you. But we're just going to take it away, Tyler.
All right, I have questions from every single episode. I'm just basically going to do this until Florida Director tells me we have to go to the next segment. So we're going to start with a real easy softball, all right? What season and episode of Bets is this?
Season 9, episode 11.
There you go. One.
really?
Easy layup to
Guys,
start.
I said it 12 minutes ago.
You did. I would hope you've been paying attention to that. All right. But now we're going to get into the real stuff. All the way back to episode 1. All right. I hope you remember. This was our NFL prediction segment. Who predicted the Eagles to win the NFC East?
Nick Cohen.
This is correct.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you, Andrew. All right. I'll do 2 more from this episode. Who predicted the Chiefs to win the AFC West?
Andrew Gregg.
Incorrect.
Nick Cohen.
Incorrect.
Tyler Brownrick.
Yes.
Who did I think would win?
You picked the
The Chiefs. I'm
well,
smarter
you picked
than
the
I
Chiefs,
look.
but I had the AFC West.
Oh.
You had the AFC South.
Let's be more specific. Okay?
You had the AFC South, or you picked the Texans to win that.
Okay.
All right, and one more. All right,
That's
one
still
from
gonna
this.
happen.
I'll be a bit more specific. All right. Who picked the Dolphins to win the AFC East?
Andrew
Andrew
Gregg.
Gregg.
That is correct. I'm gonna give it to Andrew. All right, so it's Andrew's in the
Sorry,
lead with
Mason.
2.
It's
We got
fine, guys.
1-1. It's still anyone's game. All right, now we're gonna jump down to episode 5. This was our NBA awards predictions and World Series predictions.
Okay.
This one's is a bit crazy.
World Series of.
Who predicted? Start with an easy one from this. Who predicted the Dodgers to win the World Series?
Tyler Brownrick.
That is correct. I said, and I feel like you know this because I said that a lot.
Yeah. You
going
like
around.
boasted about it as if it was like not likely.
I was right though.
Second highest odds.
First to fill the rundown. Whatever.
That's true. This is I'm going to be a little more obscure with this. I'm going to tell you who made that. I'm going to tell you who said this, but I want you to like guess what they said. Who did Nick pick to win Rookie of the Year?
Can I answer?
If you remember.
I remember. Modest Buzelis.
Yes. Can we talk about this?
Yeah.
This is crazy to me that this
Yeah.
was your pick. Exactly. Is he even like good?
What did you want me
Never heard
to
that
pick? Rob Dillingham?
No. I would have loved that pick.
No.
I'm telling you, I
Modest
would have loved it.
Buzelis is still going to win. There's still a ton of games left in the season, and
It's
he
early.
is the Chicago boy. He is going to win.
You got time. All right. Now I'm going to jump down to more recent. This is another fun question.
Oh, I got this.
What were our Halloween costumes?
I know this.
Oh, I'll give a.
Let's-
Okay,
yeah,
Andrew
I
Gregg was
agree.
a
That's
minion.
what I said.
Tyler was that W with the big walkout thing, and then
You got it. What's the name of the guy?
just
Come
let
on,
me
come
have
on.
it.
No, 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 no.
You're close.
No, no, no. It includes our school mascot.
Yes.
Huh?
In his name. Yeah. In a way.
And then Nick Cohen was the news reporter with the mustache falling off.
What's his
so
name?
you got to know his name. At
What's
least.
his name?
It's literally the
Ron-
color I was.
Oh, you're close.
I want to say Wheezy, but that's from Harry Potter.
No.
Ron Weasley.
Burgundy.
Yes.
Yes.
There we go.
Can I
Ron
get half a
Burgundy.
point?
And then
Mason gets a
Andrew
point.
was.
A minion.
Which minion did he say he was?
He was Bob.
Correct.
He
My
fell to
costume
the
was
moon.
LA Knight.
Yes.
That was the name of it.
Oh. Okay.
But hey, you did
Good
good on that
question.
one. That one was a good
It's like
one.
2 out of 3.
Does he
2 out
get
of
3
3?
points for that or 2?
We'll give him 3. We'll give him the full 3.
Oh my
I'll
God.
be generous.
I'm not trying to lose, but like you know.
I definitely think Mason is now in the lead. I'm not exactly keeping score.
Okay.
I'm going off of vibes. If someone in the studio is keeping score, then thank you. But if not, oh well. All right, let's go to episode 3. This is the soccer one.
Oh, our favorite.
I don't think anyone remembers what they said. I'd be really impressed. Who did Andrew pick to win the Champions League?
Barcelona.
Oh my, yes, that is
Come on,
correct.
give it to me.
Nick, do you remember who you picked? This is not a question. I just want to know.
Bundesliga? No, that's the league.
It is
That's
a
the league.
Bundesliga
That's the
team.
league. I don't know.
RB Leipzig.
No.
Leverkusen.
Leverkusen.
You're close.
I remembered it the
And do you know who
second
I
said it.
picked, Mason?
No clue.
Real Madrid.
Yep,
Yes.
that's what I
Shocker.
said.
The other half of El Clasico. But all right, so now this is a segment where this is episode 7. This was the NBA Fantasy Sleeper segment. Mason, I'm going to go for you this one. Just name. Can you name? There are 5 players. How many can you name that were on my list for fantasy sleepers?
Sleepers.
Sleepers.
I'll give you. I'll give you full credit if you can name 1.
1. See, I only know 1, and that's LeBron James, but he's not on your list.
Oh.
He was not on the list.
Mega
know.
sleeper.
I'll give you.
okay.
Do you want a hint?
Yeah.
One of these players I also picked in an earlier show to be the most improved player. and he plays for the Hawks.
You're not gonna, yeah.
No, all right, can you guys name them all?
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson.
That's
Chris
one.
I was looking
Paul.
at your computer.
All right, then we'll just let Andrew do it.
Yo.
Chris
it-
Paul.
Kaminga.
Yes, Jonathan Kuminga.
Can you give me the other two teams?
The
Nets.
Grizzlies and the Nets.
The Grizzlies, Marcus Smart.
Yes,
The Nets, Cam Thomas.
Yeah.
correct.
There we go.
All right. Following episode, this was my Heisman top 5 list at the time. Mason, once again, I'm going to you. Can you name the players? And I did rank them in order of who I think was most deserving of the Heisman.
You can name some.
I feel like you can. You can name the one guy.
Travis Hunter.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. That's
There we
one.
go.
That's full credit.
Off the dome.
from you. Can you name any others?
No.
It's okay.
Nope. That's all.
Can I?
That's all I need.
Split them 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does one wait? Does one play for UCF?
No. Not even.
It's okay.
RJ Harvey,
Mi-
maybe could have.
Miami.
Maybe at the time he should have.
All right.
Yep.
Yes.
Miami.
So yeah, the Miami player.
Cam Ward.
Correct.
Ashton Jaunty.
Correct. There's 2 more.
Dylan Gabriel. Yeah.
You had Dylan Gabriel?
Yes, Dylan Gabriel. I had Dylan Gabriel 4th in my
I
Heisman
don't think it's
rankings
gonna
at
ship
week 8.
there.
He's top 3 now.
Cade Klubnik.
Yes, he was the final
Oh,
one.
wow.
Cade Klubnik
No,
out
just
of
give
Clemson.
him the point. He
Where is he?
carried that.
Appreciate you.
Of course. But I'm not going to get last, so.
Not gonna get last.
I'm
All right.
gonna lock it.
This was from last episode, our most recent episode.
man.
All right. So
I
this
don't even remember
this
that
should
one.
be in
Yeah.
here. This was
been 2
NBA Cup predictions. All right.
Yeah. Oh,
What team did Nick predict
the Clippers.
to win? Yep. There you go.
Hey,
Okay.
yo.
Can you really finish the question?
Where's the sentence?
God, let me finish the question. All right.
My bad.
What team? Who? Actually, no. I'll say it this way. Who picked the New York Knicks to win their group?
Andrew Gregg.
Incorrect.
Tyler Brown.
Augie Aronson.
Oh, was it?
No.
It's not just
He was
that.
on for both, I thought.
Augie was on for both.
Tyler
but
Brown.
No, it was Nick.
Oh, was it really?
It's down the list.
Trick question.
Yes.
Whatever.
And then who did I pick to win the West Group C?
You didn't have the Wolves. You didn't have that division.
I did not have the Wolves. This is a hint. It was not the Minnesota Timberwolves. This team they did play the Minnesota Timberwolves last year in the playoffs. That's my hint.
Mavs.
Correct. It is the Mavs.
Heck yeah.
Mavericks.
Mason, you're doing great. I want you to know that. All right. Here's another. All right, we're gonna do a few more. I'm gonna go back to the fun ones. I want to give Mason a better
Yay.
shot.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. Give me a shot.
What is? Can you name what are our surefire pick records?
I can't.
I know
do that.
Nick's winning.
Oh, thanks.
I'll give you. If you can do the order, I'll count that also. Like first to last.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Nick, Andrew, Tyler.
That is correct.
Bang.
Can anyone? Can you name anyone's record
I
at
have it
all?
pulled up.
This is what, episode 11?
This is yes, but there are only 10 picks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's only 10 picks were made.
I'm gonna give Nick 3 and 7.
No.
Is that close?
Relatively.
You can only get so close.
Is he
Higher. He's better. He's
5 and 5? Like
correct. Yes, 5
Dang.
and 5. All right.
Straight on the
Record.
record.
Can you get me and Andrew now?
Tyler, you have like 1 and 9.
That's yep. And then Andrew's. I am 1 and 9. I'm the worst.
Andrew's above you, so 2 and 8.
There we go.
There he goes.
Killed that.
Really?
Ah,
Yes.
Wow.
You got him. All
it
right.
evens out.
Does it?
Another fun question. This is a bit of a history lesson, so I don't.
Oh
you
my
guys might be at a
God.
bit of a disadvantage.
I don't know the 34th president.
No.
Abraham.
Since I have been producer of this show, can you name everyone who's been a host?
Is this anyone? Or
I mean,
Mason?
yeah. Well, I want Mason to start.
Oh, I
we
can't.
have
I can't.
Phil, we have Ezra, we have Andrew Montana,
Correct. That's 3.
Can it be a group effort?
and isn't it just Nick and Andrew?
No.
Nick and Andrew.
Oh, Giovanni.
Giovanni.
You're
But
missing
there was
one.
people. There was people before.
Not
oh,
with Tyler.
No,
though.
with me, you're missing one person.
I want to say Luca, but that's not right. One person.
I
How
know
many-
some
you
of the
have- you have
names
s-
of the others,
Wait,
but I don't
did
know
you say
when
6
were.
or 7?
No.
You have-
Kelly,
you have 6
It wasn't
names.
Kelly.
You have 6. Do you have 6 names or
I
7
have
names?
Giovanni,
7.
Andrew,
We have 7.
Ezra, Phil, Nick, Andrew.
You're missing one.
Oh, and you?
Yes.
I said that 5 minutes ago.
I wanted him
Well,
to
he
say
wasn't
it.
asking
Oh.
you, Nick.
Because he's
He was
looking at
asking
me. I'm
me.
like, he's awesome.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But that is the quiz. That is all.
Who won?
I believe Mason won.
All right. That's.
But we're
first.
all
Who?
winners because we all know the show, and I think that's what
But mainly
matters, and
Mason.
You all watch it.
Mason, thank you for coming on. I think
welcome.
this is the most you've ever been on Bets in a single season. So
It's the only season he's been on Bets.
Twice.
Perfect.
Perfect.
I mean,
Still reigns
I
true.
think we're all honored to have you on, and
We
thank you
appreciate
for
you,
all
Mason.
the work that you do as executive producer. And you were a great guest and a great sport today and always. But that is it for this segment. After this, it'll be our final segment of the season in which our assistant producer comes on and does some surefire picks of the week. So don't go anywhere.
Hello, Hitting the Field family. My name is Andrew Montana, host of Season 19 of The Main Show. And on behalf of HTF, we hope you're enjoying today's content. But I'm here to tell you about everything else we have to offer here at the network. Mondays at noon, HTF Bets goes live with 3 of the best on-air faces we have in the program. Andrew Gregg's personality, Tyler Brownrick's sports expertise, and Nick Cohen's versatility make this show a fan favorite, but also a warm light to guide you through the harsh world that is the sports betting industry. On Tuesdays, Frankie Noble hosts a brand new show called Girls Got Game, blending women in sports, the biggest sports news stories, and creative segments that make for a fun and engaging show. Next up, we've got The Combine, an easygoing, conversational, and podcast-style show dropping on Wednesdays with Ty Patton as your host. No changes there. But a big change for The Combine is the set. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to The Combine from our brand new podcast studio. We've got the lights, we've got the cameras, all for Ty Patton to bring the action, and we hope you're just as excited as we are for this amazing opportunity. Much great content from The Combine this semester, as always. Then tune in Thursdays at noon for our second live show, The Main Show, hosted by, well, yours truly. Here we'll cover any sport, any topic, any story, no matter how obscure, be it basketball, football, hockey, soccer, UFC, MMA, cycling, even baseball. But be sure to tune in throughout the semester for our special shows, including drafts, debates, and much, much more. Lastly, Nighttime is aired on Fridays, where Patrick Previty and Matthew Bracker talk about UCF and college sports. From in-depth looks at campus's top storylines to collegiate records being broken nationwide, let Nighttime be your primary college sports resource. And outside of our 5-show roster, be sure to tune into our other content, such as the Studio Days vlog run by Vlog King Nick Cohen, breaking news graphics on our Instagram page, and much more. As well, make sure you're subscribed to Hitting the Field Network on YouTube, as well as following us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. But as for me, I've been Andrew Montana. Thank you so much for watching, and back to your regularly scheduled programming.
And welcome back. It is everyone's favorite segment of the show, Surefire Pick of the Week. Just to recap the records, although we're not doing a surefire pick this week, at least we're not. I'm 5-5, as Mason mentioned and Tyler mentioned. Andrew is 2-8, and then Tyler is 1-9. But it's okay.
We all did a good job collectively
for
together.
the most part. Yeah, exactly. Most wins by a group of Bets hosts in a single season ever. So
and no one's had a winning record yet. That still hasn't happened, technically.
So close.
So close.
But
good try, Mike Tomlin.
Thanks. Mike Tomlin is crazy. But for this segment, our assistant producer, Anya Gary Bashfully, is making some surefire picks of her own to see if she could get greater than 1. How are you doing, Anya?
I'm a little nervous because even though I have been assistant producing for Bets for about a year now, I still don't really understand how money lines and betting works. So I just decided to pick some of my favorite teams and sports that I know my family likes and just hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, that just means that we haven't done a great job explaining it.
That is truly a sound strategy, though, in the betting world. Yeah, let's be honest.
But we will work on that next season. Anya, go ahead with your first pick.
So my first pick is happening later tonight at 7 p.m. It is going to be the Chicago Bulls versus the Detroit Pistons. My family is from Chicago. Andrew Montana says that I'm biased towards them, but oh well. However, I am saying that the money line is 155 for the Pistons to win. I understand the Bulls are not that great right now. I also think that overall, the game is going to have over 231.5 points at -110, and I believe that the Pistons will get the first 20 they'll race to 20 points in the first quarter at 105. I really don't have much besides to say, like, I wanted to do a Bulls game, and I understand they aren't winning right now, so either a team that I kind of like wins, or I get my bet right, so...
Using the Tyler strategy. Now,
exactly.
Just hopefully one of your 2 other legs still hit, because that's the worst, when you bet against your team, but your parlay still doesn't hit.
Yeah,
for somebody who's from Chicago, you have absolutely no faith in them. You bet on them 2
I feel like a lot of Bulls fans, though, don't have faith in the Bulls, for being honest.
Not even
we are still riding the coattails of Michael Jordan.
I mean, that one's kind of truly a toss-up.
Hey, the good news is...
-105, so, like, yeah, it's basically 50-50.
The good news for Bulls fans is, 1, Lonzo returned.
Okay.
So that's a great sign. And 2, you have Modest Bezelis.
Oh, I was about to say
There.
So,
Rookie of the year.
yeah, he's going to be your Lord and
course.
Savior. Maybe that won't be for this game because we are going to be rooting for you, but maybe in the future, Bulls fans.
Shout out Cade Cunningham, who's great on my fantasy team.
He's on a tear
He's
with
so
triple doubles.
good, dude.
Besides the point, Anya, get into your second parlay.
Yes, so my second parlay is going to be for UEFA. My grandpa's a big soccer fan, so I decided to do the game that is happening tomorrow at 2:45 with Bosnia and Herzegovina versus the Netherlands. And I have it set that the Netherlands will win at minus 320 for the money line. I do think both teams will score during this at minus 135, and I do believe that Bosnia will get at least half a goal in or over half a goal, so at least 1 point at minus 130. I feel like my strategy here was just to kind of make sure that I had an even spread because I have the Netherlands winning, but I also have Bosnia scoring a goal, so I feel like I had a little bit of strategy to this one.
Absolutely. I don't know soccer, but it sounds good.
I do not know where Bosnia is in the world. I'm not going to pretend that. But when I was making the graphic for this, I did have to find their flag stuff, and in the Nations League, Bosnia did lose 7-0 to Germany. I don't know if that's an indicator of how well this team is or if that was just kind of a fluke loss, but
It was a fluke. I know Bosnia very well. I follow every single game, and unfortunately,
dedicated Bosnia
they
fan?
sat their starters during the Germany game. So
Of
I
course.
will say,
Can you
Anya,
name those starters?
yeah.
Anyone?
So it's in a different language, which I don't really want to do the accent for right now. But
Valid.
Of course.
But
yes.
Anya, you have both teams to score, and then also over half a goal for Bosnia, which kind of ties hand in hand. So I definitely like the strategy on that one. It's like a little cherry picking, but I think it's all good.
Yeah, 100%.
Listen, man, I've never had to do this before. I'm trying my hardest.
Hey, we want you to beat Tyler.
I
so
don't. This is not a collective we.
No,
It's
it is.
all of our
It
favorite
is.
segment.
And everyone's that's ever guested, and Mason, we all want Anya to win. So, get into your third pick.
So my third pick is happening a little later on this week with the Steelers versus Browns. It's my one and only football game, and I have the Steelers to win at minus 225. I feel like even if you don't follow football, you know the Browns aren't doing too hot lately. I don't know how long lately is, but definitely for the past 3 years.
How old am I?
However, I do have that there will be over 40 points at minus 110, and I believe there will be a -5 spread with minus 110. I'm also not really sure what spread means, but it was the only other
You're picking the
stat.
Steelers to win by a 5.
Yeah, basically. Okay, so I picked the Steelers to win at minus 110.
Okay, not too shabby.
I like this one, I'd say most, but the one thing is over 40. Over 40 feels pretty bold.
That over 40 will.
You got a great Steelers defense and a Browns team that also has a pretty good defense in terms of its players, right? But the big issue is their offense is not good, even a little bit. With Jameis at the helm, love Jameis. Great guy.
And just to recap your total parlay odds for all three, they're all looking really good. We don't have any Nick betting for the Yankees type deals. Your first one with the Bulls is sitting at plus 513. Your second one with UEFA is plus 304. And then your final one with the Browns is plus 426. So I think those are all pretty good odds. And as I said before, we're all rooting for you. I just wanted to say thank you for all the work you've done as our assistant producer for this semester and just for the show the past year. You are amazing at producing, and when you do come on as a guest, you are a great guest as well. You always talk about our less common sports, we'll say.
Your favorite UFC.
But you always kill it. Shout out John Jones. But I believe Tyler wanted to say something as well.
I do have something I would like to say. This isn't a goodbye in the traditional sense because Anya will still be here. However, Anya will no longer be the assistant producer of Bets as she will be producing Girls Got Game next semester. And so I'm just sad to see you go. A year ago when I met you and then you became and I asked you if you wanted to be the assistant producer of Bets, I've known from day one how good you are at this, how much you love producing, how much you love directing, and I've known since day one that you would eventually be in the spot that you are now going to be in, and I'm so proud. I've been your biggest supporter in this program since day one, and it's just so great to see, and I will miss you on Mondays here on Bets.
I'm still going to be here on Mondays. But
Yeah.
I will miss working with you. I will say that. I did not realize just how quickly I became a part of this family, and it couldn't have been without your help, Tyler, seriously.
Absolutely. Very nice. We will all miss you, and we all appreciate all the work that you've done this semester. Again, this is the season finale of Bets, so we won't see you until January, but we will see you in January for season 10, season X of Bets, you could say, theoretically. And we also will have a
Roman
new
numerals.
starting time. New starting time of what, maybe 3:30, 3,
4-ish.
something like
We
that,
don't
or
know.
4. We're changing some things around, but just stay tuned for that. For Tyler Brownrigg, for Anya, for Mason, for Patrick, and Andrew, I'm Nick Cohen. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the spring.